He did me proud. I'll say that. Okay, so I'm here. You're probably wondering what Arizona State University is doing in Washington, D.C. This is why we're here. Before I get started to talk about Weaponized Narrative Initiative, I want to talk a bit about the Center on the Future of War, a little self-promotion here. ASU, as you know, takes a lot of pride in being one of the most innovative universities in the nation. But second to our mission of educating master learners, which is President Crow's vision, we also share the benefits of purpose-based discovery, which is really why we're here and really what we're doing. So one of the ways that ASU has done that is they've reached out to one of the most progressive and thoughtful think tanks in the DC area, in our opinion, in New America, and have created a partnership with the scholars there. And that's what the Center of the Future of War is. We're the connective tissue that moves from academia to the policy-relevant think tank world of Washington, D.C. So there's connective tissue between Tempe and the Phoenix area and the D.C. think tanks. Key here, a couple pieces: engagement, research, and education. We're doing all three of those. I'm here today to talk about research and engagement, but I'm also one of the architects of a new online master's degree in global security. So if anybody needs a master's degree or knows somebody who does, we launch in the fall. We're looking for applicants right now. So the Weaponized Narrative Initiative was actually started about the first of the year, right after the election, you might imagine. We start getting concerned with what's going on, and these are the two primary architects. They started with an article in One Defense, which is an Atlantic Online magazine, about weaponized narrative. That's it right there. And you can see that it's really unabashedly a US-centric, we're under attack, and we're behind. And that's the approach. Conventional military dominance is still critical to the superpower status of the United States, but even in a military sense, it is no longer enough. If an American election can be controlled by an adversarial power, then stealth aircraft and special forces are not the answer. There's part of our team, that's the ASU team. We have a range of different disciplines represented on the team. Historians, Scott Rustin, who talked to us yesterday, is here. And then we also have some others who once our articles were published in Defense One, and we've subsequently published a white paper, have also joined us. And Kurt Sanger in the back from R4 is here as well, representing the center and the Weaponized Narrative Initiative. I'm told John Herman's not really a cartoon, but I don't know. I've not yet met him. I meet him this afternoon, so I'm looking forward to seeing what he looks like in real life. So what is Weaponized Narrative Initiative? This is it in a nutshell. And what we did is we built a white paper. It was a collection of essays that kind of discussed this idea from a number of different perspectives, a number of different angles. But it's about undermining the role narratives play in generating a response to a provocation or in action. So things we know, things we talked about the last 2 days, right? Narratives are central to the identity of individuals and understanding who we are and where we fit. They're also important for the social system, and this is where I was talking about earlier today. I'm going to make the same mistake, or at least commit the same error in my mind, but I was accusing everyone else of doing, and that is equating individuals and societies as being one and the same, because I don't have any other way to talk about them right now. Human beings make sense through stories, right? We can't even look up at the sky and not make up a story and turn randomness into some really elaborate, beautiful drawing. We use in the social world, for the social scientists in the group, right? There's your 2x2 game theory, overcoming the obstacles to collective action occur through narrative, right? Because it generates ideas about what our self-interests are, what our values are, and it generates the trust required to make sure that we both go after the stag and don't chase the rabbit and defeat ourselves. All right, so a lot of folks in the room recognize this. It's an exploded version of John Boyd's OODA loop. For those of you who are not familiar with the OODA loop, it's just a decision cycle, kind of graphically laid out in with a number of different details that are really important. For John Boyd, the most important section of this, and the role that narrative plays, is this part right here, orient. Right? It sets you up to not only observe the world in a certain way, because you have understanding of who you are and how the world works, so you're oriented to observe the world in a certain way. It also enables you to act basically with implicit controls, because you kind of know who you are and you're going to act in a behavior that's accordance with your identity. Okay, so decision making done by the logic of appropriateness, appropriate to your position, appropriate to who you are, occurs through the use of a narrative, and a cohesive, coherent narrative is required for social action as well as individual action. So what's new? This is all old stuff. It's always been this way for human beings. What's new? And the thesis of the Weaponized Narrative Initiative is this: that there's something larger going on that their adversaries are better taking advantage of than we are at this point in time. They're not inventing things, but they're taking advantage of them in ways that we are not, or we're not aware of. What are those things? This is fundamentally the point, and this is, holy cow. Bam, bam, bam. This is actually fundamentally the point, and it is a point that Scott was making and others have made, that there's a fundamental paradigmatic difference in the information environment that has created complexity, created confusion. I've got cute pictures. Created confusion that makes the narratives come to the fore. 10 years ago when I was writing my dissertation, nobody met like we're meeting today. We're having conversations about narrative today because there's been a fundamental change in the way information flows through human societies that shape the way we actually get things done. So anyway, the last couple slides real quick. So what do we do? I'm here because this is part of what we think we need to do, is continue this building on the power of networks, which actually, in my estimation, solves Scott's problem, because the reality of the answer to this question is not hierarchy of the DoD, it's something else. The DoD then becomes part of that network as opposed to being the centerpiece of that network. And this solves the problem with rapid adaptation and a bunch of other things that quite frankly, complexity demands complexity, networks demand networks to address, and that's what we need to build upon. But here's my biggest problem. And this goes to my conversation earlier today and some of the discussions we had around tables, right? The elephant in the room is, so we have short-term solutions, and we know what those are. We've talked about them. You actually have increased my toolbox, if you will, of short-term solutions for this problem. But the long-term solution is, in this new information age, is the coherence required for social action at the state level, at the U.S. level, actually plausible or feasible anymore? Sorry, I went over.